This morning is a quick rant about QNAP. If you don't know who QNAP is, they are a company that makes RAID enclosures, network attached storage devices, stuff like that. I bought a QNAP TS-231 2 years ago, and it's kind of been a little problematic the whole time I've had it. There's been a couple of occasions where, for no apparent reason, the drives, it would lose a drive, and then I'd have to repair the RAID. On one other occasion, I think I had to start all over again. I'm not sure. It's been a while. Well, about a month ago, the device, I was moving it from one. Basically, I was replacing a UPS, and so I had to shut it down. And I went in and shut it down appropriately, and when I installed the new UPS and turned it back on, it lost a drive. The second drive, and the number 2 drive in the second bay, went offline. I kind of briefly was able to get it to come back on, and it started resyncing, and then it went offline again, and it never came back online. I tried a lot of diagnostic things. I tried swapping. First thing I did was back up all my data off of it, which was close to 4 terabytes, and that was fun. Then I was free to do whatever I wanted with the drive, and basically, after running through all the diagnostics I could and trying all the things I could, I determined that, number one, the number 2 bay was dead. It just purely would not see the drive. Apparently it would power the drive, it would show an LED light, but the operating system just would not see it. And if you put disk 1 in bay 2, it still wouldn't see it. I took both drives out, put them into another machine, ran Western Digital's diagnostics on them. They said it's fine. I even created a new RAID with a different controller and a computer, and it worked fine. Put the drives back in the machine, can't see disk 2. And it seemed to be having issues noticing that disk 1 was being removed. So I contacted QNAP through their web portal. The device was out of warranty, and it took about a week to get a response, and then it took about a total of 2 weeks before I got someone from QNAP to actually look into the issue and contact me. They required me to install TeamViewer on a computer so they could get in. I think that still took another week. So we're talking about 3 weeks here. So you can imagine, if this was somebody's customer, how mad they'd be right now. Anyways, they get in, they basically have me do all the diagnostics that I've already done, and then tell me that what I already knew, which was that the backplane was bad. And I'm like, okay, well, sell me a backplane. It's not very much, it's not very big, it's just, what it is it's just a little tiny, basically a PCI Express card that supports 2 SATA drives. I don't know how much it would cost to make, but a whole lot less than an actual SATA controller. And they said they can't do that. They said it would have to go back to them for repairs, and then they told me that it would be too expensive for me to repair it. And that, you know, sucks to be you. I said, well, so if it's too expensive for me to repair it, just send me the backplane. Oh, we can't do that. So basically they refused to help me. And since it's some kind of proprietary PCI Express card, you can't just put anything in it. Or at least if you can, I don't know. I don't have, it would be a big pain in the butt to do it. Well, anyways, I get onto eBay and start looking for a replacement backplane to see if anyone's parted one out. And lo and behold, someone on eBay was selling this. This is the old one. This is the one that I've replaced that's bad. But the one on eBay was for a TS-251. Now the TS-251 and the TS-231 are pretty much the same thing. I think the 251 has the ability to upgrade the RAM, but it's a 2-bay NAS and the riser cards are interchangeable. So this is the riser card. This is the back plane. And let's see if we can zoom in on this. And that little card in there with the PCI Express, that is the back plane. That's it. All they had to do was ship me that, and I would have been able to get the NAS box up and running. I don't know how much it would have cost. I know that I priced SATA cards, and they range in price from $15 to you know, a couple hundred for full-blown RAID controllers, but which was my plan B. I was going to take the 2 drives, buy a SATA RAID controller, and build a computer and put that in it. But the replacement drive I ordered, and I'll put the price of how much it cost in here. Put that in yesterday, and created and of course immediately it saw the drives, both of them, and I was able to create a new mirror. And this morning I started copying data over to it. I mean, it's silly. Just send me the card. It's easy to replace. There's two screws that hold the case closed, and then there's 5 screws that hold this in. 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and 1 here. I mean, you pull the drives out, you remove the case cover, you remove the 5 screws, you literally pull this out, put the new one back in, put the screws back in, close it all up, put the drives in, boom, you're done. You don't have to even configure anything in the RAID controller. It just sees it. I mean, that's it. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Oh, the other thing that bugs me about the QNAPs is the constantly upgrading the firmware. It's like a Stephen King novel. Every time I turn around, there's new firmware. So, that's it. Rant over.